Hello and welcome to the Outdoor Boss, and today we are going to be reviewing the Silky Gomboy, probably the best saw in the world. And mind you, I had this one right here for 1 year, so today I can clearly say what are the pros, the cons of this saw and if it's really worth its money. But besides that, I will be also building this saw called Horse. It's like a horse structure and it's basically a station where I can process some wood, so it will allow me to create other constructions around the camp, because as you can see it's quite empty at the moment. I have one stump right there, I have a fire pit here, but nothing else. So this one will be officially the first structure on my winter camp. But now let's stop talking and let's see what Silky has to offer with the Gomboy version and which version should you choose for your next saw. Before we cut some stuff, which is the fun part, let's see what Silky has to offer, also because this saw may sound a bit pricier than the competitors, but there is a reason for that. And so, first thing, this is a foldable saw. As you can see, you open and close. To close the blade, you just push this button and it goes down. You can regulate the blade in 2 positions. This is the straight part. And then we have this little angle, which allows you to cut branches when you are in a more uncomfortable position. You can switch the blade whenever it gets dull, however, you probably won't do that very often, because these teeth on this blade remain sharp for a very long time. In my experience, this blade after 1 year cuts basically at 90–95% of what it was at the beginning when I first bought this blade. Now, I was saying that this one is the Outback Edition, which is a bit different than the standard one. It costs a little bit more, probably 20 euros or dollars more than the standard one. I paid for that about 75 euros. Which is about $75 to $80, okay? Compared to the standard version, I have a compound handle, which is made from what I understood of wood dust and plastic or some kind of resin. So you get this kind of handle, it's quite grippy and it's nice. In the standard version, you get a plastic handle, a black plastic handle. And the same for the blade. In this case, is Teflon coated, in the standard one is not. And this Teflon coating prevents rust and corrosion on the blade, and also it has a lubrificant purpose, so basically the blade cuts better into the wood. And then we have the most important thing on this blade, which are the teeth, and these ones are very sharp, very straight, and also they have been tempered with ultrasounds, which is a special process that allows the blade to be flexible but the teeth very hard. So the blade is not going to break on you, but still you will keep sharpness on the teeth of the blade for a very long time. Lastly, if you are a bushcrafter, the spine on this blade is extremely sharp, probably sharper than a Mora Garberg, you know, the knife, one of the best knives to start a fire. And finally, with this saw you get also a plastic sheet. This is a hard plastic sheet, it's not the best one, but you know, you get something with this blade, which is very good. Alright, I think we fully covered this saw, so now let's start cutting some wood. Alright boys, I got myself some wood. This is a dry, hard wood and it's perfect for this kind of application. Of course, the first thing I will need to do is to create the legs, and I will be doing them in a X shape, and I will tie them up with some paracord, and then I'll put on top of them a piece of wood to keep everything together. But you will see everything throughout the video. So, I've got my piece of wood. I need to make sure that there is no sand where I have to cut, and also I don't really need the bark. This is quite useless in my case, so I will burn that away. I will be cutting the legs a bit longer than what I need, and then we can size them up once all the structure has been constructed. Also because, remember, it's always better to leave some excess and then correct what you did, rather than remove too much and, you know, you don't have a structure anymore. Right, let's cut it. To be fair, this one is almost perfect. We can size it up right here. I'll be using this leg right here to size all the other legs. So we need 4 in total. And it's fine this part here, because this will be the base. I will just shape it up a bit better later on with my axe and these will dig a bit in the ground, so my horse wood station won't move anywhere, okay? And yes, sorry for my English. I know 3 languages and unfortunately English is not my mother tongue. But yeah, if you're wondering why should you subscribe to this channel, well, because this is just boys being boys. Alright. And we love nature. We all do here. So, we said, and we cut it right here. Ah, that's just incredible. It's really incredible. We have the second leg. Let's see the third one. You won't believe it. That's almost perfect. To the fire. Right there. I mean, here. Good. Whew. I'm breathing so much smoke. But you know, it's or the smoke or mosquitoes. And to be fair, I'm quite bitten. So for today, I prefer breathing this smoke, even if it's not really healthy. Right, fourth leg. That's incredible. Seriously incredible. Alright champs, we've got our legs. Next up we need to create our crosses, but first I want to do all my legs and put a nice beautiful triangle at the bottom. I know it's probably not a triangle, probably has a different name, but you know what I mean. I need to cut some kind of oblique shape on my legs, and to do so I won't be using my saw, I'll be using my axe. And this one, my boys, this one is a Prandi Segurin, an Italian made one-hand axe, and it's just amazing. We take this one, chop that nicely like that. I like this shape, it's okay. We should remove some bark because I will need to tie all these legs up later on, and of course if there is a bark, loosen bark on it, it's not gonna help tighten my knots. Now we do the same right here on the bottom, this way, that way. It's the same thing, who cares? Like so. Good. Maybe this way. Yeah, why not? Oh, there is a little ant here. Go away. Don't wanna kill you. Good. Chop, chop, chop. Yeah, that's good enough for me. We've got some core on this one, but this one is much more tightened, so I think we can leave this one on. It's not going to be a problem. Okay, beauties, we've got our legs. Now we need to create an incision in our wood, because as you can see, these legs are very roundy. We want to place them in a way that they hold up quite nicely even by themselves. So already with some paracord we should tie them up very nicely. Now because these are round, they can move all the way around. We don't want that, and I think I will be doing only one leg and the other will go inside. So something like that. So basically one U shape and the other log goes inside, and then I can lock them up. If I chop both of them, I will create like two C's, and you know, they don't really fit very well. They may scissor a bit, but yeah, maybe I shouldn't say that. That's good enough for me. 1, 2, and of course we'll be doing the same on the other one, which has to be on the same height, something like here. So 1, 2. We take our wood, cut a bit with our saw, not too much, we don't want to overdo it. Again, We don't want to overdo, so dose your force, all right? Spread your legs like your mama, and then chop. I was just joking, by the way. I'm holding it higher because I don't want too much leverage on my hatchet, okay? Like that, and then we turn the other way around and do the other half. Now, as I said, I want it a bit roundy, so I'm just chopping a bit the middle. Then we can take our knife and we can do some woodwork with our knife, okay? The other way around. Be careful when you do things toward yourself. Don't use too much force. You don't want your knife going into your neck or something. Don't hurt yourself, okay? That's important, my boy. And now this one should fit. I'm not gonna say perfectly, but just should fit, okay? Yeah. And now let's do the other two legs. And now, boys, we tie them up real nice, okay? You see how one piece goes into the other. Again, as I said, that's not a perfect job, but it will do, okay? Let's see the other two if they fit nicely. Yeah, that's good. We've got the knot here as well. It will stop from sliding. I found some paracord. So first thing, I want to create a Canadian gem knot. So I do a simple knot right here. Take this piece, goes right here. Here we make a knot, and now I can tighten up with this right here. That's good enough. And now we move around, top to bottom. Keep it as tight as humanly possible, okay? We go around again and just create a nice, beautiful knot. Piece of rope. And we do the same as we did before. So create a simple knot, okay? I think it's called a pretzel in English because it has the shape of a pretzel. Pass it through here. This one goes inside, and then I tie the pretzel up like that. And with this one, I have now some leverage, all right? So you see, I go on the other side and I create leverage as much as I can. Go round, bottom to top. Just want to show you the joint. You see, it's quite precise. Good. We've got our legs. They may be not really symmetrical, not that sturdy yet, but they will be. Now we need the top part, okay? So I need to chop a piece of wood. It doesn't need to be too long, also because we will have too much structural pressure at the center where we will want to chop, just long enough to put branches on top and do our chopping activities. For splitting we have our stump. So now I will take one piece of wood, the straightest possible, and no, I'm not being homophobe, just joking. I think this piece of wood will be good. I will cut it right here. Of course, now you may say, Conrad, this piece of wood is too thin, and once you start chopping on top of it, probably in a few times you will break it. I have a solution for that, but you just stay here and see. We've got our Silky Gomboy, and cut, just like so. Good. I will be doing a couple of inserts here and here, so I can place my piece of wood nice and sturdy on the legs. Yeah. Nice. Time for the assembly. I want it to be close to my splitting splitting position will be something like this one here, that one which is a bit lower right there. Now I need to tie this up, and you will see later how it will look like. It's not sturdy right now, but it will be. That's a promise. Oh geez. Stay there. Stay there. Right, let's start from this leg right here. So we've got ourselves some paracord, okay? This one is a Temu paracord, which is really not the best quality, but for this application will work just fine. So we take our knife. Today I'm using my Joker Pucco knife. Cut one piece. Again, I'm going to create a little knot and tie everything up, okay? Now, before I continue working on my horse structure, I need some pegs. This is because first thing I want to lock the structure in the ground. So to do so, I've got another branch, as you can see. I need these pegs to be quite big, not too big, but you know, quite big, and I think this branch will do just good enough. I could chop it with my axe, but instead I'm gonna be using the saw so we can continue testing this blade. As you can see, there isn't much to say, it just cuts beautifully, and also it works very well with all kind of woods. And if you're wondering why did I choose the Gomboy version, probably because it's just the perfect solution for outdoor and bushcraft scenarios. Right, let's cut this wood. Good. Three. Right. We've got 12 pegs, and what I'm going to do is just this. I'm gonna show you. We take the pegs and we put 3 all around every single leg, okay? In the ground, like that. 1. Second. Nice and deep, okay? Right, this leg is not gonna move for sure. And now we do the other 4. The beauty of this axe is that you can use it as a hammer as well, and I know that you may say I can do that with the 90% of the hatchets out there, but no, you can't, because many hatchets, especially the cheap ones, very cheap ones, they are not really good quality. This one instead is just perfect. The head stays there, is not moving, and is so strong. That's American oak, so-called hickory wood. Very strong and elastic wood. And you can see this way also how the hatchet and the saw, they just work so well when you combine them together. Now the skeleton of the structure has been made, and it has been locked up on the ground, which means that when we chop wood, all the energy will go down into the ground, and that's good. The system already, as it has been made, can hold up the weight of the branches and the weight of the chops. However, it's not sturdy enough, and also is not working well with parallel forces, alright? So it's sliding on one side or on the other. To address this issue, I'm gonna use another piece of wood. As you can see, I have some more. This one is a bit big, to be fair, but it will work just enough. And I will create an X shape, X structure at the bottom, and I will connect the legs together. This way we should stabilize the structure, and this will allow all forces to go into the ground and not laterally compromising the structure of my horse. For fun, we can call it Trojan horse if you want. It's nice. Right, let's take our piece of wood, place it down here. That's perfect. And now we can cut it with our Silky Gomboy. This one will go on top of that. I think we can just cut a little piece here. Let me see. I've got another Y-shaped piece of wood. It's not easy working on sandy ground, you know. This one goes right there. And we are going to create other 4 pegs to put in the middle right here. I think this should completely stop this movement, you know. We take our hatchet, we place these pieces not too deep. I want to put all of them first. This one is the longest, so I'm gonna put it here as we have some depression, and 4 right there. Nice, I like that. How beautiful that is. I really like that interlock of wood right there. Didn't use any rope, any paracord right there. I can stand on it, and my weight is 110 kilos. I don't know in stones, but it's a lot. It's really a lot, and it can withstand my weight, so it surely can withstand some chopping. But it's not done yet. That one log is not going to withstand time, because if I start cutting and chopping, for sure I'm going to hit that log as well, and I'm gonna break it and damage it in no time. Of course, I want to avoid that. So, in order to avoid that, I'm going to cut a bigger piece of wood, a bigger branch or log, place it on top of that, and this way I will be able to change it over time, and I will have one top that I can exchange over time, okay? And I think that's a very good solution, so you don't have to build that kind of horse station, wood processing place, the Trojan horse, however, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's a good solution. Now let's find some green wood or greenish wood. I don't really want to cut down a living tree. We may found some. Oh shit, right there, boys. And it doesn't look really straight, but let's move on, see if there's something else. Oh, maybe. Look at that. This looks perfect. Looks rotten as well, but looks perfect to me. Okay, let's bring that to the yard. Ooh, I must tell you, I'm very strong. I mean, look at this piece of wood, how big it is. Look how strong I am. Oof. That's fucking heavy. Right, let's try to put it on top and see. Wow, look. That's the perfect length. Incredible. This is just incredible. I'm so lucky today. I mean, I can use this one as a bench. Look, I'm happy. I did something. I was so demotivated. You know, I had a base camp here. It was beautiful. I had everything. Then a flood came, took everything away. Some bad people came, threw rubbish here. Then the nature took everything over. You see regrowth, everything is green. We are closing to winter now. And from nothing I created something. That's the beauty of being human. You know, we are living in a very difficult time. Lots of wars, lots of hate, division. We should just all love nature. Connect a bit more to it, I believe. Be happy about small things like this one. It's not gonna last forever, but it's making me happy right now. Right, let's spread some good, shall we? And let's test this horse wood processing station, which I will be calling the Trojan horse for the future references. I like it a lot. As you can see, I can put my branch on top of this structure. I can cut, and it's gonna be easier on my back. It's gonna be easier and nicer for me, for my posture. This is what I can do, right? So, move forward and cut, okay? Now we have some branches. I take my axe and just very easily work my way up, all right? And everything is here nice and clean, and I can burn that, or I can chop it even more. So I place it one and do 1, 2, 3. Easy, easy. Now again, I'm gonna take my branch and I can cut it nice and easily. Like that. Put my wood on the side, because maybe I don't need that right now. And yes, the top is quite rotten, but it doesn't really matter, because as I said before, we can change this piece of wood, and to be honest, it's even nicer, because now I can remove the top layer, make it flat, use it as a bench as well. Is rotten, but not too rotten, it's just very, very wet. Once it dries up, it's gonna be nice, solid enough. I will be able to do my wood processing. I can sit here, at least temporarily, but for the moment I think that's probably the most important thing when you start a bushcraft camp, because you don't risk to damage your tools. Whenever you split wood, for example, you may hit a rock. That's not really good. Also the posture, you want to stay quite straight, keep your back straight, and avoid pain in the future. Okay, so at the moment that's good enough for me. I can make it nice and flat. Oh, I have one tool for that. I will show you very quickly. Here we have it. This is the Italian roncola, which is basically a little sword, right? That's just beautiful. Look at that. I can create every surface flat, like so. It's basically like a machete, but better. In my opinion, it's just better. And now that I cut my pieces of wood, I can move from my Trojan horse, that's what we called it. We move to our log, which is the splitting place, and we can just chop our wood, right? The other way around, chopped. That's greenish wood, so it doesn't split very well. But again, as before, it goes into the fire. And because it's a bit green, it will create some smoke, and it will protect me at least a little bit against the mosquitoes, which is very, very full. Alright guys, what can I tell you? Do I recommend the Silky Gomboy? Absolutely yes. I think that Silky is phenomenal. I believe that they create probably the best blades for saws in the world, especially for bushcraft, outdoor, and why not survival applications. I truly love this blade. And now, do I recommend the Outback version? Because yes, you can buy this version or you can buy the professional version, which is the standard silver and black saw. I think that there isn't much difference. This one is probably a bit smoother, a bit grippier, but probably for 20 euros you are not going to feel the difference really. So if you want something more budget friendly, but you want something that really cuts deep into the wood, go with the professional series. Otherwise, if you're really passionate, you like bushcraft, you love collecting things as well, I believe that the Outback version is the best version for you. Of course, I will leave all the links down in the description below. For this saw, I will leave the website for this hatchet as well. I believe it's one of the best hatchets in the world. It's a really good hatchet, and to be fair, it's not that expensive as well, compared to other very good hatchets, of course. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, so you will help the channel to grow, and I will see you next time. Bye bye, adventurer. It was a pleasure.